What's up, guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. And sometimes in the Go Battle League, your team always doesn't necessarily make sense. This team, you'd be like, Rise, oh, this team's super weak to Dragonite lead. Yeah, you're right. No, Rise, this team, it's super weak to Obama Snow lead. Yeah, some teams are. Chris, this team, super weak to Obstagoon lead. Yeah, a lot of teams are. And this team that we're running today instantly loses to a Whimsicott lead. We're going to see a couple of Whimsicotts in this video, but we put this team together. We weren't really cognizantly thinking of a potential Whimsicott lead, so we'll see what happens when we get to that point. But against the non-Whimsicott teams, which the majority of teams aren't going to have a Whimsicott, this team did pretty dang well. The team being Guzzlord, Unovan Stunfisk, and Sirfetch'D. Sirfetch'D, a really fun Pokemon to use with access to Leaf Blade, which is such a strong and cheap move. You get to it rather quickly, and it still hits quite hard. And then with Mud Shot, Unovan Stunfisk is going to do really well against things like Steelix, as we're seeing it aligned with right now. And we saw quite a few Steelix Carbink teams in the Great League Remix Cup. And how about this? Steelix hanging on with 1 HP to get off another move. That's unfortunate. But we'll be able to tank this Breaking Swipe, no problem. He does get the debuff, though, which is unfortunate. Swap into Sirfetch'D. We're behind energy, but we're up a shield. We know he's probably going to Fire Punch bait, but you can't really afford to take a Scorching Sands on the Mighty Duck. He is mighty, but he does have a low defense. So a Scorching Sands would hurt him quite significantly. Leaf Blade coming through. Going to grab the final shield from Diggersby. Going to play it safe, shield this. And I just need to hope that the Leaf Blade can knock out this Diggersby. I go for the immediate Leaf Blade here because my thought process is Mantine had an Aerial Ace banked, so even if he catches, that's fine because then I don't have to take that Aerial Ace. So he catches, he throws a move, but it's only a Fire Punch, and we're going to be able to live Fire Punch to get off a Leaf Blade. If you're wondering why he Fire Punched there, he knew he was going to need residual energy to take out the Unovan Stunfisk since he was now in Mud Bomb range. So I think he did have the Scorching Sands, but elected to throw knowing he would have needed extra energy anyway. Guzzlord, Stunfisk, Sirfetch'D. Who would have thought this trio together? They don't seem like obvious counterparts, but they kind of make sense if you ignore Whimsicott exists. And we're going to get into some Fantasy Cup action tonight on stream. Normally I stream on Twitch. It's pretty cool how often it's more often than you'd think I get someone that says they've been watching me on YouTube for a long time, first time coming in on Twitch. Happens more often than you think these days. But yeah, I stream on Twitch most weekdays around 2:30 p.m. to like 4:30 p.m. Central Time is when I'll start my stream. So then I'll go for about 2 hours from the time I start, usually doing my GVL sets. And today I wanted to get a couple of these videos up, so I'm prioritizing the YouTube videos for y'all. And then we're going to go live probably around 10 p.m. Central Time, a little bit later tonight. So if you're watching this video, feel free to go hop over on Twitch, see if I'm live as the Mighty Duck catching another Diggersby. It's like the same team we saw before. What is going on with the Diggersby? Usually not that common, but Sirfetch'D doesn't mind. He likes this matchup. Gonna live the Scorching Sand and reach another Leaf Blade. Actually allow him to do one more quick attack. This way, if he lets it go, I give him less farm for whatever Pokemon comes in. So he lets it go. Steelix comes in, only gets one Dragon Tail of farm. And we have really good alignment here with Stunfisk lined up with Steelix. He doesn't build up through Earthquake, so there's really no need for me to shield this move right here. But that Mantine is still quite healthy, right? So we still have to be a little bit concerned with the Mantine. We have a couple of avenues to take it out. Either landing a Discharge with it or just kind of using our Guzzlord with its Dragon neutral damage to take out that Mantine that's still lurking in the back. Mud Bomb knocks out Steelix. We're in a pretty convincing position here. Gonna go for Discharge. He throws a move, and I don't think Ice Beam would even knock out from here, so I just decided to no-shield this. He goes for the bait, and now we're in a pretty comfortable position. Stunfisk saying bzzz. Probably doesn't actually do that. Discharge seems like a strong move, right? So it wouldn't be like a bzzz sound. That'd be more like a thunder shock would be a bzzz sound. What sound does Discharge make? I don't know. I like to ask you guys comments in the chat, in the comment section, but that doesn't seem like a viable one. Maybe we'll come up with something later on in the video Dedenne. This is rough, dude. This is horrible. We are double weak to it, but we're not going to give up. And they do swap in a Jellicent, which isn't the worst thing in the world for me. Because I do have super effective Leaf Blade, we're going to be able to fight back against this Jellicent here. Leaf Blade is going to hit quite hard. I like the play the opponent makes of no shielding the first, because for all they know, right, we could have Night Slash and a Night Slash and then a boost. They'd be best off no shielding the first move. So we then get the shield there. At this point, I'm thinking if I can get switch somehow, that'd be really good for me. So I'm going to shield, get shields down here. Maybe he decides to let it go and just take the shield advantage. Then we can line up Unova and Stunfisk with Dedenne. He's going to shield again. And this will obviously knock out our Sirfetch'D. It's amazing how much the bubbles added up there, because that's the first charge move we actually took. Going to farm down with Guzz, and I'm just looking to get out of there straight away, no messing around. And he's staying in. And staying in signifies he's probably double weak to the pancake. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's like a Skarmory in the back. Maybe we're in a good spot. Gonna have to eat a Play Rough here. Play Rough will hit for some heavy neutral damage, that fairy typing. But Stunfisk is very bulky, tanks it quite well. And we guessed it. It's a Skarmory in the back. The awkward thing here is because our mud shots are resisted, we're not going to be able to two-shot this Skarmory. So I'm kind of thinking like, what's the best course of action of taking this out? I'm over-farming. I don't think I'm quite in Brave Bird range. That's why I was willing to throw this. Actually, undercharge, which hopefully that doesn't cost me too much. But I undercharge. I'm assuming he Brave Birds. And now I'm going to look to get out. I'm going to look into bank my move. And I decide just to throw this immediately because in my head, the Dedenne took a Mud Bomb, right? So the Dedenne is going to have to expend a Play Rough to knock me out. And if the Dedenne expends a Play Rough, that's 60 energy. Discharge is 45 energy. So there's no way Dedenne can bank a Play Rough and a Discharge. And we have the Mud Bomb loaded, and that is a GG. Bit of a core breaker lead, but we found a way out of it. And that is a D to the G. Luckily, they were ABA weak to our Ufisk, and our Sirfetch'D swap lured out the Jellicent. So our Ufisk was really good against the remaining Pokemon. G to the G trainer. Let's go. Let me know in the chat if you guys watched my top teams in the Fantasy Cup video. If there's any teams you plan on using in the Fantasy Cup, I'll be looking for ideas. We face a Pidgeot here. Guzzlord going to do his thing. Some heavy neutral type damage. Pidgeot can be a bit of a nuisance to play against. Probably one of the more annoying Pokemon to play against because it is it has access, of course, to Feather Dance and also Brave Bird. So you're always guessing, like, do you get nuked? Do you get baited? And this one's actually running Aerial Ace, so probably no Feather Dance on this Pidgeot. And I feel like I can take another Aerial Ace here, and I might even commit to a Dragon Tail down. Could be a little bit risky, but I feel like I can get it as long as he doesn't snipe. We get the Dragon Tail down. Just going to blind Crunch here against the Whiscash, and Whiscash going to be a little bit awkward in this scenario for our back line. Normally Sirfetch'D would hang well, but with a bit of a head start, Sirfetch'D's not going to want to eat moves. I swap, he swaps. You know, I kind of wish I had maybe thrown a Leaf Blade first to grab a shield from the Jellicent, but I think this is fine. And luckily it's a Hex Jellicent, so it doesn't look like Surf is quite going to two-shot us. It's going to need a Surf plus several more Hexes to knock us out. Going to get off both Discharges. At this point, I'm really just hoping to get a shield. I think a shield would be really nice for me. Discharge coming through, doesn't get shielded. So kind of a smart play by the opponent, but then they get a little greedy here, in my opinion, allowing me to get off a Mud Bomb. And allowing me to get off this Mud Bomb just puts him too low, where counters are going to be able to do the trick eventually. So if the opponent had thrown Mud Bomb there on CMP and one CMP, maybe they still had a shot. But after the Mud Bomb got off, that was a good game. Looks like we restarted our app. And now we're going up against the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh. Guzz into Denair. Neutral lead. We're both dealing super effective damage to one another. Now, probably should just throw that Dragon Claw immediately, but the risk is if they decide to read that and throw on charge attack priority at the same time, they're going to win that charge attack priority. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be in a rough spot because you kind of have to shield to get it off. And then you're going to be down a shield for sure. So I end up being down a shield anyway, but in a perfect world, I would rather have I would rather have thrown my Dragon Claw first. That way I'm not down a shield. I come in with Ufisk, and he is staying in, which tells me the back Pokemon probably doesn't want to see my Ufisk. When I see that situation, I immediately just think, okay, it might be a Skarmory. But Skarmory doesn't make the most sense. Well, actually, no. Skarmory does make sense. I was going to say because then he's like triple strong against grass. But also, like, he has 2 fairy answers for the dragon lead. So Skarmory would make sense. And it's a Mandibuzz instead. So I'm going to go for the Discharge here. And then check out this nice little sequence you're going to see. I'm going to do 4 Mud Shots and catch a potential Foul Play onto my Sirfetch'd. Not only do I catch this, but I also get a counter head start here. And this works out pretty much about as well as we could have asked. I throw on charge attack priority and I unveil my close combat. Most Mandibuzz aren't going to be expecting the close combat. And we land it, which does a ton of damage and is going to actually allow our Stunfisk to Mud Shot down and put us in a really good spot. I'm sure there was a comment already in this video. Rise, why close combat? You saw why right there. I felt like the heavy neutral damage helps you in a lot of situations. And we're going to be able to win this game with our Ufisk. Should have technically discharged there because I'm only going to want to throw 2 charge moves most. So discharge does a little bit more than Mud Bomb. Should have discharged there technically. That was like a 4-1 or a 5-0, something like that. The red boss, the next opponent, Guzz into Frost. Not the best, not the worst. Like, our dragon damage just hits so hard here that it's not that bad for Guzz. He's going to throw on proper timing at 7, so I'm willing to let that happen. It is an Avalanche. Luckily, no triple axle to vamp up his attack. I feel like he kind of has to shield here, so I go for the Dragon Claw bait. Let's see if he calls it. Nope, he shields, so we're chilling. And once again, he throws on proper timing. And now I know he's 4 off, so I'm thinking in my head, okay, if I can KO in 3 Dragon Tails, I get this farm down. And luckily, there's no damage registration error, so we're going to get the farm down. In comes Crest. Should have done 1 crunch, or sorry, should have done 1 Dragon Tail for proper timing there. But I just kind of wanted to get the crunch off right away. So I throw on alignment, which isn't ideal, but we still get off our 2nd crunch before a move from Crest, so this is pretty good for us. Also, Crest kind of core breaks our backline, so the fact that he took both of those moves works out really well for us because now this Crest isn't as much of a threat to our back line. In comes Jelly, the Jelly Meister, and I just spam off my Leaf Blade right away to try and get his final shield. And we do get the final shield. Now he's going to be in double discharge range. So as long as we can live double Surf, we're chilling here. And we should be able to live double Surf because this is a Hex Jellicent. If this was a Bubble Jellicent, this could have been really tricky because double Surf probably would have KO'd us plus the bubble damage. He also still has that Crest as a catch, but he makes a slight error. I don't think it really changed the outcome or anything, but he could have thrown before us, but it wouldn't have KO'd anyway. So that is a G to the G. Maybe it could have delayed the switch timer or something to give him a catch opportunity. I don't know. But G to the G, the Mighty Duck putting in work. This seems too good to be true. When's it going to happen? Is it the next battle? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But one Pokemon eventually spoils our fun. I don't know if this is the battle yet. But this one is starting. And what are we going to see in the lead? Guzz into Pharaoh. Okay, not that bad. Pharaoh, not that bad. Pretty neutral matchup here. And as long as they don't have any steel charge moves like Mirror Shot or Flash Cannon, everything is resisted on our Guzzlord. So Guzzlord actually is favored here as long as there's no steel charge moves. And in comes Gligar. And if you look at our backline's pretty weak to Gligar. So we're actually very happy to see it here. And going to chip it as much as I can. Dragon Tailing away. Do I decide to put up a shield? I do. Which is questionable. Because I would live a dig anyway. So I don't know if the shield was best used there. Especially when you have a Sirfetch'd in back. You want to try and save shields for Sirfetch'd. Let's see. I think this time I do put up a shield because I was worried a dig plus maybe a wing attack could KO. So I just play it safe. Shield up the dig. Does Ferrothorn come back or does something else come in? Let's see. Skarm comes in. And at this point I'm thinking, okay. I can't really give up Switch, but this is looking kind of awkward because if I have even if I have my Stunfisk aligned with the Skarmory, my Sirfetch'D is not going to be able to survive 2 Power Whips. 2 Power Whips is going to easily knock out my Sirfetch'D, so I'm not loving this situation, to be honest. This is looking kind of weird. I catch, but once again, this Ferrothorn has a lot of energy, and 2 Power Whips is going to be enough to knock out my Sirfetch'D. He's already at the next Power Whip, but he is dry here. He is dry. So if I can somehow knock out the Pharaoh before eating another Power Whip, that is the best case scenario. Is Mud Bomb going to be enough here? Red health, Ferrothorn, and it knocks out, and that's going to seal the deal. But awfully close there. If that Ferrothorn was able to get to another Power Whip, I think a Brave Bird from the Skarmory would have been enough to knock us out after eating a Power Whip. Good game. And we were feeling, dude, this team was going on a huge winning streak. We're feeling it. We're thinking we found the team of dreams, and on to the next one. Another Dragonair lead. I think this could be where the streak ends. Our luck runs out. Dragonair into Guzzlord. I play it the same way where I just shield the first and then commit to the farm down. This way I guarantee switch advantage. But the problem is I do go down a shield. So I think in a perfect world, you want to throw that Claw immediately and hope that they don't also throw immediately. It is kind of risky for them to throw immediately, so it's unlikely for them to do so. Gonna get off a couple of charge moves here against the Toxapex and set up my Stunfisk here. But Toxapex does have energy. We don't know what's in the back, and Sirfetch'd really wants to avoid, and this is tough because normally this is a good matchup for Sirfetch'd, but unfortunately this Whiscash is ahead on energy and up a shield, and a Scald is going to deal some real massive damage to our Sirfetch'd. I go for the Leaf Blade here once I'm at double. Actually went a little bit over double, trying to like CMP him if I can, but doesn't work out. We do CMP on this one, but how well are we going to be able to take a Scald? Are we going to be able to double up here? Are we going to be able to get to another Leaf Blade? I don't know. He actually Mud Bombs. I think he misjudged the damage, thinking that Scald wasn't enough, so he needed to double Mud Bomb. I think Scald would have definitely been enough. In comes Fisk. Gonna go for the Mud Bomb here. I need this to KO. We just saw it barely KO a Ferrothorn. Will it KO the Whiscash? It will not. The Whiscash hangs on, gets to a move, and this is going to do some serious damage to the point where the Toxapex, with its loaded energy, should be able to knock out our Unnovan Stunfisk. It might hang on by a thread here, which it does, but unfortunately, we got debuffed by that Scald, and with the incredible bulk of Toxapex is going to be able to withstand the discharge. I think even without a debuff, probably would have barely hung on to that discharge. So well played by the opponent. They stop the win streak. They prove that the team is not invincible. They prove the team is not invincible. And then, boom, there it is. There it is. The dreaded Whimsicott. Rise, what do you do against the Whimsicott? I don't know, bro. I tried my best. I tried my best. Let's see how we try to fight out of this. Drill Peck coming through against our Mighty Duck. Go for the Leaf Blade here. Worst case scenario is they take it and they still survive and get off a Drill Peck. So, worst case scenario. There you have it. This is the worst case scenario. Yeah, this is rough, dude. We're down 2 shields against the freaking Whimsicott that beats our entire team. But I do have energy. I'm going to bait here. Oh, no, I'm not going to bait? Okay. Interesting. I go for the close combat. And then I store a Leaf Blade, I guess. Okay. I don't know why I went for it. I feel like the Leaf Blade makes way more sense because it's less energy and they probably still have to respect the Brave Bird anyway. I come in here with Unnovan Stunfisk just throwing resisted Mud Bombs. Throwing resisted Mud Bombs, man. And doing what I can. Luckily, they have Seed Bomb, so it's a little bit less hard hitting than, like, Grass Knot. And he does elect to throw another one, which I'm thinking, maybe this gives me a chance. I was thinking he's, like, pretty dry on energy here, so I come up with a plan. The plan is I'm going to try and catch and CMP with the Leaf Blade I have loaded. So I do 4, I wait 1, I go, but no, he doesn't fall for it. He got a sneak there. It wasn't a CMP. And then I have a move banked. I'm hoping Claw KOs, but no, Whimsicott actually wins the charge attack priority against our Guzzlord. And Rise, how do you deal with Whimsicott with this team? We're probably going to lose, bro. We're probably going to lose. We tried our best to overcome it there instead of just like top lefting instantly. But well played by the opponent. And I think I have one or two more battles in this video. A little bit of cute times. K. Sean is the next opponent. He's oftentimes in our chat. Guzz into Shadow Gligar. I think, do I finally decide to call a bait? No, Rise, come on. They bait every time here. They bait every time because it kind of makes sense because all they really need is like double Aerial Ace plus wing attack damage. So they like never throw the dig there. I go for a Claw. I throw on alignment. This way I at least get a shield back in this matchup. And I am aware I should live a dig from this range, so I don't think I'm going to be opting to shield here. But let's see what happens. Dig connects, puts our Guzzlord quite low, but we do win the alignment. What is going to come in to greet Mr. Guzzlord? Let's see. It's a Charge-a-Bug, and I am liking this because I'm able to get off my Dragon Claw here for some valuable chip damage. I have a Unova Stunfisk, a ground type. I can line up against this electric type. This is looking pretty good. I do get denied there, unfortunately. Been getting denied a lot upon entering. A bug I think they really need to fix. And he's staying in. So once again, I'm thinking, okay, maybe a Skarmory. Skarmory very common in the Remix Cup, so felt like it was very possible. Going for another Mud Bomb here. Charge-a-Bug's approaching its next X-Scissor. And I throw after one to try and get rid of it before it can land another X-Scissor on me. Let's see what K-Sean decides to do. He actually shields it, which surprises me. And I'm thinking, okay, it almost definitely is like a Skarmory now if he's willing to shield a low-health Charge-a-Bug like that. And at this point, I think I just put it all on Sirfetch'D. I'm like, okay, Sirfetch'D, one shield up against something. And luckily for us, it is a Skarmory. And this is where close combat is going to be kind of nice to have. We're over-farming, just till I know it's like, without a doubt, in close combat range. Going to go for the close combat here. Boom! And we have a Leaf Blade loaded. Could have close combated the Charge-a-Bug. That would have been a lot of fun. But we settled for Leaf Blade, since that'll KO. And that is a G to the G against K. Sean, fellow supporter of the channel. So, appreciate him. And, yeah. There you have it. The Guzz Eupha Sirfetch'D team. You saw it put in a lot of work. And despite being a team that kind of instant loses to a Whimsicott lead, you're not going to see a ton of Whimsicott leads. So sometimes it's okay to run a team that is a little bit unbalanced or has one team that totally core breaks it. Just as long as you're sure that's the thing you're not going to see most of the time. When I released my Whimsicott Legend team, actually no, I didn't hit Whimsicott with Legend. It was a different team, but I used Whimsicott like on my Legend push. Maybe at that time there could be like a lot of Whimsicott roaming around, but in this scenario we didn't see very many, and this team had a nice little run. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.